Three, two, one. Hello, everyone. Happy 2026. Welcome to our Mindful Leadership podcast with my wonderful co-host, Natasha Rocha. Natasha,
Hello,
happy
everyone.
2026. I know it's the 14th of January, but it's never too late, right?
Never too late. Never too late to start a new year.
Wonderful. And we have our first special guest, Lisa Maria Mitchell. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, it's lovely to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. And it's my turn to read out our guest's bio. So thank you for submitting it, Lisa. So Lisa is from her company is Four Pillars. And she says that she helps people come back to their heart, back home to their bodies with nervous system regulation for energy, hormones, and mental clarity. Through Lisa's Four Pillars method, she guides them to reconnect with the mind, heart, and gut so they can rise again into their true power. And topics that Lisa suggested, and I'm sure we'll continue to discuss many topics today, include from survival to self mastery, how energy, mindset, and daily rituals transform your life. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
Would you like to introduce yourself, Lisa?
So, my name's Lisa, and I am a Kundalini yoga teacher, a NLP practitioner, and a health, fitness, and exercise coach with nutrition, which sounds a load of certificates or bits of paper. But this journey through certain stuff that happened in my life, certain what I call them breakdowns to breakthrough, led me onto this journey. So if it wasn't for certain things that happened in my life, then I wouldn't have been on this path. And yeah, that's the reason that I started my business, is through my own personal experience. And I just wanted to help other people who have been through similar stuff. So breakdowns to breakthroughs. And yeah, just think I've digressed for the question.
Oh, I love that. Isn't it amazing how, like, one of the questions I get asked all the time is, who am I and why am I here? And the other thing is what is my purpose? Like that, why am I here? And it's so
Yeah.
funny because a lot of the times purpose is built on the hard experiences that we've gone through, that shadow work that we've overcome. And it's so interesting because we look at our business and we think, the people that we're actually servicing are the who we were 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. In that journey. And it's quite incredible that and one of the things that you talk about is really looking at the body and how the body tells us exactly what's happening. How did you start your journey? Was it through the body first, or was it through the mind? How did your journey, what activated all of this?
So it came from being at the breaking point. So maybe about 10 years ago now, I had my own business. I was a beauty therapist for years of my life, and I had my own business, and I built it up over time. I ended up going into partnership with someone, and it lasted a year before it was a gradual breakdown. So I walked out my own business and then took a breakdown. So I had depression, anxiety, and I was taking antidepressant tablets for 8 years actually. So it got to I was using unhelpful coping mechanisms, binge drinking, and I called it wine down time. So I would have my wine and I'd eat trays of food, and eat my emotions basically. So I've tried to fill a void that was never going to be filled. Plus, I attracted quite toxic relationships into my life, because not realizing that I had to work on myself and why I was attracting certain experiences into my life. So I got to the rock bottom place, and I just at times I just didn't want to be here. And when you get to that place, there's two ways you can go. You can either go the wrong way, or you can have an awakening. And I decided I've got two boys, which are my life, and I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for them. So I wanted to be a better version for them. So they were I just wanted to do anything I could do to not feel like this ever again. I was sick of myself. So someone gave me a book called The Magic. I don't know if you know, it's like The Law of Attraction, The Secret, but it's the magic's more practical. So I started to do a journal, started to journal some exercises and that. And there was a technique, and you look in the mirror and you have to tell yourself that you love yourself. And oh my God, I was like, I can't even look at myself. Actually, I hated myself. And I realised because of your journey, the way I was, the patterns and the behaviours, I could see right through myself, and I would just never wanted to feel like that. So I realised there's a lot of work to be done. So I had scratched the surface of wellness. I had looked into breath work, meditation. I journaling was massive. Like, I used to journal day and night, used to take it everywhere with me. I used to listen to my I ams in the car when I was crying. I am worthy, I am love. Do you know? Joe Dispenza, I used to listen to him all the time. So he was really a good mindset coach for me from the YouTube. And so I had scratched the surface of wellness, and I was on this path. And I came off my antidepressant tablets because I had put my own tools in place. And then I got into a relationship. So that was my first stepping stone, which I call a breakdown to a breakthrough. That was my awakening. And then I got into a relationship with a partner. For the next period of time was like a roller coaster. Well, life is a roller coaster, Ronan Keating says, and he was right. This relationship he was addicted to the gym, which was good because I had already started my mental fitness, my emotional fitness, doing my own habits. So he got me into the gym, so that was really positive, and nutrition. So then my 4 pillars were starting to form without me even knowing. But this relationship was some of the episodes within that relationship, because he had addiction. And thankfully I was already on my path. So this was up and down, and some of the episodes were some of the most traumatic times in my life. And you try to save someone, but you end up losing yourself. So that was about a period of time of 4 years off and on. And but during that time, I would get really into my fitness. So then lockdown came. So that relationship came to an end. And started lockdown, I had really time to look at myself, because I've found myself again at a breakdown. I was on the couch for 6 weeks. I couldn't get a breath. I went down to 9 stone. And I really thought I wasn't going to, I don't know if I had COVID back then or what, but my body systems were just run down. I took a panic attack on New Year's Day, I remember. And basically, I had time to look at myself during lockdown, and I got really, lockdown for me, it was either a path of going back on the wine and go into destruction mode, self-sabotage mode, like used to be my patterns in the past, or take the path of action. And I really immersed myself in my practices, and I had habit trackers every day. I had about 100 habits. I had a full day because lockdown was for everybody a challenging time. So I had journaling, I had challenges of burpees. I'd done all these crazy challenges and daily things every day. But exercise saved my life, I say, because I used to go to CrossFit. I loved it, and I always say it saved my life. No matter what was happening in my life, I've had no sleep, or what was happening, I would make sure I got to CrossFit. And my car was off the road at one point, I remember, and I would walk to CrossFit. I would get a lift back. I was determined. I was like, no, it's 1 hour of my life. But the exercise did, during lockdown, because I was on a healing journey, I did use it a bit excessively, a bit addictive. So I was training every day, 7 days a week. I was training twice a day and doing all my habits and my journaling, my eating, fasting. But I thought at the time I felt the fittest ever, which I think I was really fit, but there's a balance as well. So using these healthy habits can become unhealthy if we're using them as coping mechanisms and not healthy habits. So it's finding the balance. So that really was an escapism, but it got me through, and through other techniques, I end up moving areas over to Fife, and that was the best move I've made. A fresh start, and me and my boys started a new life, and off the back of that, so that was my second stepping stone, a breakdown to breakthrough. And but that was the biggest teaching, because it learned me my boundaries when it comes to relationships, even in my partnership with my business partner, and through partners that I've had in the people that I've been attracted to through my life and relationships. The nice guys, I wouldn't be interested in. It was always the bad, the not bad, nobody's bad, but not very positive relationships, healthy relationships. So off the back of that, I went through early menopause. So I was 39 and I was on my fitness journey. I lost 4 stone, off my antidepressants for 8 years, and in my best place. And then early menopause. So basically, that was like, obviously, I was transitioning for different things in my life, moving house, relationships, healing on this journey. But this was another curve in the road, another roller coaster dip, as I say. And so from that, I realised that so we're on this train, this roller coaster, everybody is in life, and it's up and it's down. And we get to this stage in our life in menopause, and it's you can either let it consume you, which I did for a period of time, or like depression, we can really zone into that and really feel the effects all the time, unless we try and like go on a new lifeline and really know our worth, or learn how to love ourselves and what our worth is. Because this train, I realised, so it wasn't taking me to the stops anymore. I like this analogy. So the train doesn't take you to the stops, and the fuel isn't right. So the menopause, obviously, your fuel's not working, my exercise wasn't working, my hormones, there was stress, my character was changing. So I had to bring my train into the station and then get on a new train. So we can either stay on the train and it's not getting us to the stops and go round in circles, or we can get on this new train, and I call it a lifeline. So we get to a period in our life, men and women get to this period, because men go through hormone changes as well, male menopause. So we've got the chance to take this new lifeline and step onto this new train. It's more elite, and now that we're at this stage in our life, we've learned all the lessons that we need to learn, and we've grew for them. So it's time now to step on and let it go. And it's learning how to let it go. And the train, putting the new fuel in, the fuel with the timings, the new fuel that's more efficient, that suits our body and keeps it running better. So this train, that is us, the fuel's going into our gut, and our mind, our mental fitness is our sat nav, and that's what takes us forward. So our sat nav is much better now. It's got clarity and focus because we're putting the new fuel in. So the mental fitness is our sat nav, who's taking us forward. The emotional fitness is our suitcases, our baggage, and our carriages on this train. So because we're at this stage, we're letting the suitcases go, we're dropping the baggage, and we're stepping onto our new elite train. And the physical fitness is the pulling us forward, and that's our heart as well. So our heart is our truth, it's our emotional regulation, it regulates the whole system. So this train analogy, I love it. So I stepped onto the new train, and yeah, I was just on a journey learning. So I learned my Kundalini yoga training. If it wasn't for my journey in the past, that journey moving forward, I don't think I would have learned my Kundalini yoga, and which energetically shifted a lot of layers. Because even though I worked on a lot of stuff, and I was in the best place, I thought, when I done my Kundalini yoga training, there was certain kriyas we had to go through for like 40 days, and meditations and eating different things, and there was loads of layers of emotion coming up, and realising that and NLP, that was really good as well combined. So that took me back to my timeline. So obviously my patterns and why I chose certain relationships in my life stems from the relationships that when I was growing up. So I'll not go too deep into that and divert. But yeah, so I had to do some patterns, and some of these layers of the onion was coming off for childhood releasing. So it was like it's a total awakening. It's awakening every single time we put the energy into ourselves to make ourselves the project, really. So I think
Wow.
I've maybe
Thank
a bit.
Oh, phenomenal. You know what, and you're doing all the hard work for us, which is fantastic.
Sorry, guys.
No, no,
What's this?
you're already a star guest. So let me just try and make your screen bigger. It might just happen when you talk. I'm not sure which. Let me try that. Oh, that makes you full
There we
screen.
go.
Well, that's quite good when you're talking. Otherwise, I can take us back to it's me. Okay, enough distractions, John. So what I as you're describing the train, I love the train, and it's so funny because like Ronan Keaton says, like I'm trying to do impressions, is that it feels very much like a roller coaster. I love that the train is also on a roller coaster. Throughout, like building on Natasha's question about your body, Lisa, it really resonates with me that there's significant periods of my life where I didn't talk to my body, and I just followed this. How to describe this? Follow this almost like this relationship with my body, which was if I just did certain things, then I was healthy, right? So 10 years ago, I was a heavy drinker. I've been running for about, by that point, by that point for about 15 years. And I just run pretty much the same run, 4.5 miles, Monday to Friday. And I thought, well, I'm skinny, right? So, and maybe a few lumps in places I wasn't entirely happy about, but that was it. And I would push my body so hard. I was working crazy hours at work. Latterly full-time at Amazon and doing, about a 70-hour week. I don't even know. I never really counted. And I just would negatively talk to my body. I would say, look, you're getting walks and runs. Like, stop complaining. Just put up with it and shut up and keep going. And whenever I was tired, I would go into this kind of negative spiral about my body. Sometimes I'd even look in the mirror and I'd be like talking to myself saying, like, what's wrong with you? You're in your 40s, like what's the big deal? You run, right? And so it's a really quite an abusive mental relationship I had with my body. And I wanted to ask a bit more about through these big phases that you've described in your life. One going right back to that emotional. You said you used the phrase eating your emotions.
Yeah.
So powerful for many of us, and many of us have just been through a lot of eating through the festive period. Can you describe that experience a bit more? Like what emotions you were eating, even the foods you're eating, and what it felt like, what that journey felt like?
Yeah, I feel like so I didn't realise how long it would go back when I used to say to the boys, like, let's have a picnic day. We'll get a movie and we'll have a picnic. But the picnic was like, could be a Chinese and 2 boxes of Pringles, big bags of sweets, family size, different chocolates, all different jelly sweet. Do you know, like the tray would be full, and I'd just never be full, and I'd call it fun. I'd call it having. Well, I think it'd be. I think it would be. I thought it would be a good thing for us to do, but not. Sorry, at the time, but not when it got into the emotional side when I was drinking the wine and I was binging. Yeah, it was more. I felt the destruction, and I think when you're more looking through yourself, when you're in the depth of the depression, when these low moods come up and you do it, I suppose you're doing it in a different setting, a different environment, or a different mindset, really. So yeah, I would just be crying, drinking my wine and eating. I just hate. I just like self-sabotaging, self-harming. I would call it. Your body, and hating your body, like as well, like you say, when always hating my body, always trying different diets, always trying these crazy like fat loss tablets and hating the way I was. Well, not always, but sorry, my dog's trying to sabotage my video.
He just wants to appear as well.
Yeah, honestly, I've had some technical difficulties with this tripod. Yeah, so I think I've digressed. Sorry.
That's good. That was really helpful. Yeah, you were talking a lot about the kind of self-destructive aspect of it and the self-sabotage.
Yeah, self-harm. I was calling it at one point as well. I feel like it was self-harm, because you would do really good things, or the minute you get stressed, I would just go and eat, and I can see it still coming up now sometimes. And now it's an addictive, some sort of echo from the past sometimes shows, and I'm like, now I can get it. I can get it now, because when I see myself an unhelpful pattern, I mean, I went plant-based about 2018. So I'd already lost some weight, and I started this, and it just like changed a lot for me. It took away as well, like going out for meals, it took away the choices. So there's really there's all these choices, and I didn't want to miss out because I love food. I didn't want to miss out, so I'm fearing in case I picked the wrong thing. I get food envy if somebody else has got Sahana. So this took me away from a lot of choice. And I can still make meat and that for the boys, well, if they're ever here. And so I make meat for that for them, but I've never, yeah, I just changed it, and it's took away a lot of choice, took away a lot of sweet cravings, and I'm not like ever like I was, definitely not, but I do recognise it. Maybe it's like a switch that appears when I feel like maybe you're overindulging. Do you know, it's this wee switch that pops up saying, no, you need to reset. And I've just started a cleanse actually with a group of people. So we're only on day 3. So this is day 3 for me coming off coffee, because I usually, when I get into something, like I overindulge in it, like coffee. So I need this coffee. And so that, in that manner, it still pops up for me, the food thing. And yeah, but thankfully I don't get it with wine anymore.
That's beautiful. And it's amazing how we go, oh, we'll just give ourselves a wee treat and we'll have some junk food after doing like such good exercise, which is like, is it really a wee treat, or are we just like, trained to sabotage ourselves? And it's funny, well, being Portuguese, I love food. I think we're all governed. Portuguese people, you'll find at breakfast, they're talking about lunch, at lunch, they're talking about what they're making for dinner, which is so interesting. But one thing that I noticed as well with food, for me, there was a stage where we would go and visit a certain, group of friends or family, and I'd find myself eating horrible junk food, and not only eating that, but reading horrible books that had absolutely nothing going on. And I think I spent some time in meditation going, why do I do this? Like what am I feeding my brain as well as feeding my body, right? And why do I do this? And I started to realize that, and perhaps you can speak to this, when we're changing patterns, I was eating to drop my frequency so that I could cope in those environments. I was eating, like I was absolutely dropping so that I didn't feel alienated, or I didn't feel, because it's interesting, because when we come, I think, out of an addiction, from a spiritual perspective, there's also a lot of kind of like, it's not just us, but the souls that are around us that are like, no, come and stay, just stay here. Or, people are like, why are you changing? Why are you bettering yourself? Just come and stay in this place. And I started to notice that in order to be in that environment, that's how I was coping with staying through food and what I was feeding my mind and my body, right? And then I was tired, so whatever it may be. But I find that's like very interesting from that perspective. But I would love to find out, how did you move through that space of learning to love yourself? Because we tend to reject that. especially at that phase, because it's so indoctrinated. And you talk about NLP. How did you change your brain to be able to accept love, or to be love, or to work your way back to the heart?
Yeah, I think connecting with the heart and not I mean it's not been a breeze, but you really need to make yourself the project, because you are the main hub of your whole environment. So if you're not right, then everybody else is around you is not right. And I wanted to, like, your kids as well obviously learn from you. They learn from your energy. They learn from how you show up in the world. And I've really tried for my boys, like for me obviously as well, but to show them how they can love themselves. And it's so important, because our mind and our environment and the people we can connect with as well mirror how we feel about ourselves. So when we're vibrating the energy of not being worthy or not good enough, and we crave this love from somebody else, really, we're looking for it, we're just attracting the wrong kind of love and energy. So just learning to love the self gets your heart connecting with the heart instead of the brain, because obviously it's to practice connecting the heart and the brain, but sometimes the mind can overthink and take us back to past situations. So when in NLP we learned a lot about parts of ourselves as well. So the part that keeps us safe, the part that remembers the history of our past and remembers these high emotions and intensity of like not being worthy. Remember that time, it'll trigger an emotion in your mind, an episode in your mind to remember you about all these episodes that happened and remember how you felt then. So it's just remembering that there's another part in us that wants to move forward, and this part is our truth. This is our heart, and this is what we could work with, just to help us learn to love ourselves, and bringing these two parts together, because this part that keeps us wanting move forward and progress in our life and reach our goals and get the job we desire. Like, this is moving forward, but this part keeps on trying to keep us safe. It's not a bad part, but it just keeps us safe and cozy and doesn't want us to step out of our comfort zone in case remember that thing that happened in the past. So it's thinking, it's working with your parts. So learning that this part is just trying to keep us safe, and it's part of our nervous system. It's the nervous system runs the show. And this part's trying to keep us moving forward. So we want to bring these two parts together. So there's techniques we can do to bring these parts together, and to work with the nervous system, because our nervous system is the key. It's how we basically see life. It's how we show up in the world. It's how we react in relationships and respond to ourselves. And when we can connect to our heart and connect and start understanding the sensations and how the nervous system works, we can create a stress response, not a stress response, a button to help us from going into the stress response and keep balanced and keep aligned. And practices that help us through breath work has been a massive one. Meditation, a lot kriyas for kundalini, so we're shifting and moving energy and releasing. And the NLP would take you back to your timeline. There's so much we can do, but sometimes we just be stuck and we can't see the bigger picture, or the people that are around us or our environment. Maybe, like when you try and move forward, people can be quite negative because they don't see it. So it's just really trusting your heart and trusting yourself, and then opening the door to possibility, and trying stuff that you maybe think isn't for you, but it's worth trying to help you become unstuck.
Oh, thank you. You're just segueing perfectly into my question. So thank you.
I thought I digressed there. I'm like, what was the question?
You knew, you knew. And I'll share a couple of experiences for me. I would say, because I really resonate with the feeling of comfort, right? Especially when I used to drink alcohol, my kind of comfort was sitting on the sofa watching anything on TV, probably eating something and drinking beer or whiskey. And that was like I felt I was like kind of wrapping myself in a duvet. Little did I know the harm, and I could feel it, especially the next day, almost every day. I had a hangover for years, and yet these were patterns that to be honest, I just didn't see. I didn't see it for years. Sometimes I'd share, my habits with others, and they were like, "Yeah, I mean, you've got like a tough job, and everyone's entitled to like drink or eat or rest, whatever." When I dropped alcohol, that started to just be, it's like, I don't care what I'm doing. I just need to sit on the sofa. And even what Natasha was saying, like sometimes just engage in, lower vibration TV. I always enjoyed things like horror movies or things that often weren't always, or a lot of reality TV shows that weren't really for my highest good. Um, and food, just constantly eating food. And then latterly, I feel things have progressed a lot in my journey. And what I didn't realize I was doing was that I was actually starting to just gradually pick up on patterns, like starting to see, oh, my life is full of structure. I have my 5 a.m. run, and then I have my meditation, and then I do a little bit of yoga and weights, and then I do my meditation, and then a song, and then that's just me started by about 8:30 in the morning, and it's every single day, and it's so funny because I'm such a creature of habit. I find it quite hard sometimes to reflect on that. And some simple things have helped, like a Sunday off, like whatever patterns I've formed, just take a Sunday off, John. And then also traveling has really helped me, because when I go on adventures, I love camping and traveling around the UK. It's like it forces me. I just have to, like, where do I do my morning run? And you're like in a car park in the middle of nowhere, or you're in the woods in the middle of nowhere. So I was going to ask you, Lisa, about those ways that you ask. Who do you ask? How do you find out that you're in a pattern? How do you find out what patterns that you're doing in your life are healthy or not healthy for you?
So sometimes you're right. We don't realise that we're in it. We
Mhm.
can't see it, and you're stuck, and you can see it in others, and you're like, you can only say so much until the person wants to change the patterns, really. And you can see that the patterns you're in, if they're not bringing you value to your life, if you're not moving forward, just looking at what your routine is, what your morning routine is, what mentally you're taking into your mind, because mental fitness, mental health and mental fitness. So it's where we are, what level we are for that, where do we feel we are, where mind. Um, if there's like chaos happening in the mind, overthinking, and that leads to anxiety, then maybe it's something, a signal that you could be changing the patterns or adding a new routine in, or adding some mental fitness in. Or emotionally, where are we on a scale of 1 to 10 in that? Where emotionally are we? Our emotional reactions, are they high? Are you overwhelmed? Do you have depression, or do you know, like, where you are in level to that? So if you're quite low, then it shows you that you maybe some patterns need to be changed for that. Your physical fitness, where you are, do you even move? Because physical fitness is not just training your body, it's training your mind, it's training your whole nervous system, it's regulating hormones, it's building a body so you can have functional fitness for longevity, to walk your daughter or son down the aisle, for to pick up your grandkids, for to carry your shopping in the car. It's how we move. It's our whole body, and we need that functioning for have a healthy, happy, longer life. I think and nutritionally, where are we on a scale of 1 to 10 to that? What are we eating? Not just what are we putting in the gut, and what is it responding? Like, is there inflammation, or is you feeling low energy, or is your hormones stressed? So not just what we're putting in the gut, but what we're feeding the mind, just like you said, because it's so important. The people that we hang around with, what energy we're taking in from them, and we might not realise, but it might not be positive energies, and it might not be positive habits that's we're around these people, and what you're watching on the TV. I was the same, John. I stopped watching the soaps years ago now, but I'm like, I've got enough drama in my own life. Why do I want to sit in front of a telly and watch fake drama that there's nothing in the news? I stopped watching that because there's not one positive thing that happens on the news. Or EastEnders, my mum had on at Christmas, and I was like, are they still in it? It's the same stuff. So basically, yes, I'm not digressed. To change the patterns, to find out if there's something there to change. I think it's doing a wee bit an audit. So I do a personalised lifestyle audit, which takes you through these pillars to find out where you are, your baseline, and what it is, what baseline you want to go to, and then we bridge the gap. If that makes sense, if I've not digressed.
Not at all. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Complete sense. And I think it takes a level of self-observation, right? To be open to looking within, to be able to do that. And a lot of the times I think, and at least I know when I was like, it was a stage where I was like, no, it's everything else is happening out there. And then once we really start reflecting, and I think you're right, Lisa, in that sense that COVID actually forced a lot of people to sit in and reflect and be with themselves,
Yeah.
which was quite incredible for a lot of people. My question to you is that, can you share like one micro habit that will help us to recognize a pattern or something? Like, just what is that? Because I feel that when we recognize a pattern, it's because it served us to this point and now it's ready to be released. So we're ready to like, okay, I see it, now I can change it. Because to continue on with it would be choice, right? So what is one way that we can like interrupt these patterns or change them? Because they're like muscle memory. They're like hardwired in sometimes, and we end up doing them without even knowing we're doing them. So what is a technique that you could suggest? Just one little technique that will help.
So I actually share some techniques on my social medias, and just we short techniques you can use. So breath work is amazing. Breath work changes the energy, it changes the mind, it can clear energy from around you, it can clear that brain fog. You can the breath works that I share is mostly some relaxing ones, but some ones that are moving breath works and moving meditations. So it's got breath work added in. So you're shifting, you're breathing in, and some people will be like, that's not for me, but they've not tried it. And maybe it isn't that it's not for everyone. Like, I'm not saying everything that I do, like, it'll help everybody, because you've got to be open to certain things as well. So I definitely think breath work, definitely exercise. And breath work is not just, it's physical as well. So you're doing your mind clearing, your emotional regulation, your physically movement, some of them. And nutritionally, you're feeding your whole system, your nervous system. You bring it back into balance and into alignment. Your three minds, so your mind and your brain, your mind, and your heart, which is your truth and your regulation, and your mind and your gut. So getting these three in alignment.
Beautiful.
That's really cool. Thank you. I found myself yesterday. So we all live in Scotland, right? And not that far away from each other. And so we're probably experiencing similar weather. I just this week had been up for my 5 a.m. run, which is dark, right? And then since my wife's been home at lunchtime, she offered to walk the dog. So I would do a morning walk after my run in the dark, right? You can see where this is going. And then lunchtime, my wife said, oh, I'll take the dog out. And it's like, oh, okay. And then I remember the next day, I was like, something feels weird. Like, what is it? Like, I was like, oh, I think I need sunshine. And I remember like it it was in my mind, but I felt like I could feel it in those other two minds, Lisa. Like in my heart was saying something as almost like, and it's like, what is it you're saying? So I just stopped and I placed my hand on my heart and said, okay. I looked at my calendar and I said, what can I do, heart, body, that will really help me the most at this time? And my heart said, go and get so our wheelie bin was out in the street quite far away in the sunshine. It's like escape, like get out of the house, go and get the wheelie bin, bring it back, and then just spend a few minutes in the garden. And it's like, it's cold and it's raining. I mean, it's like, it's okay, the sun, like just go for the sun. It's like, okay, followed my heart literally out the door, dragged the bin back, and I stood for those moments of glory. It was just moments of just receiving the sunshine. I was like, wow, that feeling, that kind of positive affirmation, the reward was just so powerful in that moment. And then I also found myself last night, you know, some of my journey still with food is like snacking. And I'm not, this isn't ended with me, right? I haven't finished it yet, but it's like this. I'll sit down in an evening. I'll drink some water. I'll watch some TV. Sometimes have the TV on or off. Sometimes listening to music. And there's this hunger. There's this like, and it's not like my stomach, right? It feels more somewhere between my heart and my solar plexus, and it's saying, John, you need to eat some snacks. And yum 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 yum. And one thing I've done on a journey is like just started to move away from. I just can't really stomach sweets and things now. So maybe more like peanuts, and maybe not the best thing in the world, and I can't eat loads, but just something that's not has less ingredients in it. And I was eating some peanuts last night, and I was just before I did, I placed my hand on my heart and said, "Heart, why? Like, why are we eating peanuts now? Like, what is this?" And it's saying, "It's. Do you remember, John? Do you remember those patterns? Like I was sharing earlier with alcohol and sofa and horror movies and food. It's like you're getting there. You're getting there. You're not going to need these forever, but there's still work to do. It's up to you if you want some of those peanuts or not. But do some more work and ask some more questions. Why?" And as I ate them, I felt like my heart was saying to me, you know, when you fill your stomach up, it's just below the heart, right? So like, it's not like directly touching it, but it's like, it's almost like pushing up, and it almost feels a bit like you're safe, you're loved. And it's almost this kind of fake love, right? It's almost like this, this emotion of just saying, everything is going to be fine. And then your body like processes it. And it's also that kind of, sometimes those feelings of shame is like, wake up the next day, it's like, wow, I ate an entire bag of peanuts. That was like, that's heavy. What was my body doing all night digesting those? You mentioned, Lisa, some of the flicking of switches and the communication with the three minds, the mind, the heart mind, and the gut mind. Do you have advice for me and other people that maybe asking for a friend that might be suffering from these challenges as well?
Do you mean before we get to that point with the eating?
Yeah, just maybe like, is there any in way of like not diving into those snacks, or if I am spotting that pattern, like asking more, finding out more about why?
Yeah, because it can be like in a split second you feel like this. I've done it myself. Before I started my cleanse, I was like, right, wait now, I've got my cleanse for 21 days, so let's get a Chinese. What a Chinese. And I'm battling with, I know that because it's like two voices. It's like this wee shoulder, you know, like my parts, it's your parts. So I'm like, right, I better order it quick before I change my mind. Before I talk to myself and change my mind. And I actually ordered it, salt and chili tofu, and I ate it. And after it, during it, I knew I wasn't going to enjoy it that good. And I still done it. So I'm still doing these things as well, but not as nothing like I used to. But basically think about how you're going to feel after it, because I didn't really enjoy it. And I knew I wasn't really going to enjoy it anyway, because this part was telling me, why are you trying to sabotage yourself? And this part's like, come on, just get it. You've got to remember how good the sugars taste. Remember the salt and chili tofu. Anyway, and I knew it. So I would say, if you get this urge, because I do fight urges and get over them quite good now. That was just one instance. It sometimes shows up. So yeah, if you feel the urge, think, because I'm guiding people on this cleanse actually as well. So we've come off coffee, we're eating kitchery for 21 days, we're drinking some yogi tea, and so this is really, the first few days of this is really emotionally, and like you say, John, you can feel it here, and you can feel it in your nervous system, and it's your body coming up with all these sensations because it's used to having it. So, and I'm trying to help guide people from resisting the temptation. So like this, it's you're more important than the coffee, the caffeine, the sugar, whatever it is. These cravings are telling us to do, but it's so powerful when we move through the cravings. So thinking about taking a breath basically first, and before the urge shows, take the breath, think remember your intention. So we want to make an intention that really fits in with our heart and our goals, and how we feel in our lives and our moving forward, our growth. So we want to think of the intention, and we think about how, if we have that, how long is it going to last? Like a few seconds for this chasing the taste, because we're just chasing a taste, and then it goes into our stomach, and then it's affecting our gut. So we're only tasting it. We're chasing this taste. We're eating it for this feeling of what, like, discomfort. And yeah, so if we can think how we're going to feel for a long time after we eat it, then that can, and is it worth chasing the taste for this second, or feeling like this shame because that pops up? It does come up, and sometimes we need to give ourselves permission, like, to do certain stuff. But if it's becoming a pattern and an unhelpful habit, and it's affecting our health and it's affecting our goals, then I think it's really important to remember our intention, write our intention. So we're logging this, we're logging your journey, and I think it's helpful for anybody if they're want to create new patterns and habits, is to log it in a journal or log it in a habit tracker, and to keep a log of our feelings, because once we can create new pathways and new patterns and overwrite the unhelpful patterns and behaviours, and when we repeatedly do it, then we're creating a new habit. And these echoes from the past will show up, because our brain is like our gut, is their second brain, and it's got memory. So it'll be like, oh, when we smell something, it's like, oh, remember that taste for that, 10 minutes or 10 seconds even. But remember how we're going to feel for the rest of the time. And yeah, once we keep on doing it, we'll develop these wee switches, and it's much easier to switch them on. And and it's so powerful as well once we move through the craving, and once we've resisted, and it passes, and there's techniques we can do to pass the cravings, and it's just empowering once we've battled through it.
Oh, thank you. That's really helpful. I'm going to ask a lot more as well, as my mind and heart. So I'm conscious of time. I don't want to keep you too long, especially as you've set out some high bar for my meditation, which I'm about to do, or at least should I say a high track, like giving some hints about what it'll include. Lisa, how do people connect with you and your amazing services?
So my website is still in the process, but I'm on TikTok and Instagram and Linktree. So it's 4 pillars. And yeah.
Great. And I've included that link in the description of the video if you're watching the replay, and there's also a link in the live chat as well. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I will take us through a guided meditation, and wish me luck.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a deep breath in the nose. And just breathe out any low vibration emotions nice and loud. And begin to clear a space around you, a nice energetic space, imagining any fears, shame, anxiety, any stress, just gently dissipating, being released into the earth beneath you. And as you create a space around you, you're expanding the light of your heart. A nice, big, beautiful golden light to surround you. There's a big protective sphere around 2 meters out around you and protecting you from anything that doesn't serve your highest good. And I'd like you to join me now on a little journey. And on this journey, we're going to take a little walk to a train station. And I'd like you to join me as we head towards this train station out in the beautiful countryside. It's a nice, warm, sunny day. You can feel the sunshine shining down upon you. As you walk up to the platform, a train arrives. And I'd like you to take a look before you step into this train. There's some words written on the outside of the train, and you're realizing that this train is actually your body. It even has your name written on the side. And if you look down towards your right, you'll see the engine for this train is your heart, fueling and pumping the energy that flows to drive this train. And right up at this very end, just next to the engine, the train driver steps out and shouts your name, calls you close, and introduces themselves as your mind. Your mind is asking you, will you step on board this train? And just before you do, you're looking inside the carriages and seeing what you're carrying there. The baggage. Is there space for you to step in? Are there people in there sitting in the seats, your loved ones, the people you hold dear to you, the people that are in your life? And you step aboard and you continue on as the journey begins, as the train begins to leave the station and you're sat down comfortably upon the chair. And just in those moments as you get started and feels a little bit like a steam train starting, as your heart is pumping to drive the engine of the train. The train is your body, and you're beginning to feel that rhythm taking you forwards. There's a voice, one more voice that hasn't been heard yet. And it is the voice of your gut, of your stomach. Something feels different. Something feels perhaps wrong or uneasy on this train ride. And just as you're getting started on the journey and you've picked up speed now, you're starting to look around you and see that there's a lot of heavy baggage. It's quite a crowded and cramped carriage that you're in. And although you're certainly traveling and you're definitely powering through your life, it feels like there's more work to do to make this a better train ride, to make this a long and happy, fulfilling life. And an announcement comes over the tannoy system. And the train driver says, "This is your mind speaking. Please prepare for the roller coaster we're about to enter." And for that moment, you thought that this was a pretty average train drive. Actually, you're about to embark on some descents, ascents, some twists and turns, because our lives follow these patterns. And as you look around you, you realize it's going to cause a lot of problems inside if there's all this baggage. And you can begin now opening up the doors of the carriage and just picking up one suitcase at a time, opening it, seeing it, feeling it, thanking whatever contents exist within the baggage. Tell it you love it and that you forgive it. And as you open the door of the train carriage, you can throw out anything that needs to be released, any baggage that just no longer serves you, you've been carrying around for too long. And you check again with your heart and your gut and you ask, well, now that I've released more of my baggage, I've kept the bare essentials that I need. What else do I need to face? And you'll look around you, and yes, there's some people in the carriage that they're just sitting there. They're not really engaging with you. They don't seem to be very interested in you, and they certainly don't seem to have your highest good in their hearts. And an opportunity comes by for them to safely leave the train and to be picked up by another passing train. And so you open the door and offer it to them and say, you can leave safely now. You can leave. I love you. Thank you for all the lessons you've taught. And let them go. Let them find their own tracks. Let them carry their own burdens. Let them action their own free will. And then, as you continue down, checking out the rest of the carriage and getting a glimpse of the rest of the train, you come across the restaurant area. And they're serving some beautiful food here. You also see there's a lot of food that you've been used to and have felt addicted to in the past. There's some burgers and fries and some fast food. There's also some really lightweight, high energy food. It's more raw, it's more organic, it's more cooked with love, even some of the sweets and puddings. And you realize as the train driver announces that you're about to enter this new roller coaster phase of your ride, it's a good time to release any of these heavier foods. And so you place your hand on your heart and your hand on your stomach, on your gut, and you open up one of the doors and you release any of the heavier foods that just don't serve you anymore. You're going to need lightness, energy, and strength and clarity. And you keep one or two of those sweets made with love for those times that you choose to connect with them. Then you continue on now, right up to the train driver. And you stand there with your hand on your heart and your hand on your gut. And you start chatting with the train driver. This train driver is your mind, is driving your heart. And you start to realize that your whole gut was really all of these things that you've been busy releasing: the food, the baggage, the people. And your body's beginning to feel lighter and brighter. And you ask your mind, are we on the right track? Are we going in the right direction? But this time, instead of your mind answering, your hand on your heart answers. Your gut answers, yes, yes, yes. Can you feel it? Can you feel the rhythm picking up? Can you feel that heart and mind and gut harmony? We're finally working together as a team. We're finally doing this together. And we're filling our whole body, this whole train, with love. And anything that enters this train, anything that enters our body, it must have a ticket. It must serve our highest good. You're not allowed on here if you're food that doesn't serve me. You're not allowed on here if you're a person that doesn't serve my highest good. You're not allowed on here if you're an emotion, a baggage that just doesn't serve me anymore. And as you look out the window and look ahead, as the train picks up pace, you realize that this isn't just any train track or any roller coaster ahead of you. You look down and begin to see that you've already left the tracks. You're no longer touching the ground. You're rising into the air. You're gliding. You're flying. You're breaking free from all the heavy density. You're waving it goodbye as you drift up gently into the sky. And you fill your heart, your mind, and your gut and body with this beautiful, limitless excitement. And at that time, you realize also it's no longer just your mind driving this train. It's you, all of you, all aspects of you, and you're breaking free. You are truly limitless. And with this, I'd like you to allow you to just continue to fly and come back to your body, back to your breath, as we bring this meditation to an end. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I love your meditations.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa, for sharing your experiences with us and your journey. It's so inspiring, and I'm sure it'll be inspiring to many people. And I encourage people to reach out to you for support, for sure.
Definitely. Oh, sorry, Lisa, I muted you while I was doing the meditation. You are unmuted. Sorry, Lisa.
That's okay. Yeah, thanks so much. That was amazing meditation. And thanks so much, guys, for having me. It's been really good.
Oh, absolute pleasure. And yeah, do check out Lisa on Instagram. I definitely follow you, and I love your inspirational programs, and everything you share always has such beautiful coherence in it, and it's very grounded, leading by example. So thank you for all that you do, and look forward to connecting with you again. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you so much, guys.
And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Take care.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.